So in this video, we're talking about managing cultural differences at work. If you haven't read my bio, I'm working at an international airport right now. That puts me right smack dab in the middle of Koreans, Italians, Portuguese, Indians, Pakistanis, Mexicans, Polish, basically anyone from anywhere is set up to work where I'm at. Now, growing up from where I came from, basically you could say I am the stereotypical Canadian. And to be placed at the airport, an international airport at that, I mean, I had a culture shock to say the least. I mean, I'm not saying I acted that way. I'm not saying I didn't act like I had a culture shock, but man, I was in the middle of it. I guess you could say I was kind of that guy in the scene from Office Space, the one where he's rapping and going along and then he sees a black guy and he's like, quiet. Here, you know what? It's better if I just show the video. There's a little bit of harsh language. It's rap music. That's what it is. Here, I'll link to it right now.
Monkey ass drop and let your homies know who done it. Cause when it comes to this gangster shit, you motherfuckers know who run it. We're standing up for our own shit. And if you want this motherfucker to the test, you gotta realize something, nigga. You fucking with the very bitch. I got this killer up inside.
So I'm not saying that wasn't me, and I'm not saying it's exactly me, but you kind of get it. Like, the culture mix was not for me at that time. But I quickly adapted. So how did this small town white boy make things work? By using these 4 simple steps to create understanding and respect. Now let me just take a quick second to remind you, if you haven't already, subscribe for more leadership videos. And if you have subscribed, thanks. Anyway, let's get into the video. Now, step 1, as I've said in many videos before, communication is key. Health and safety policies, company policies, and regulations all have to be crystal clear and easy to understand. This is not to say that you need to dumb things down. Remember, some of these people from different cultures, the people that you're going to be working with, they may have 2, 3, 5, 10 different languages. So just simplify the language just so you make everybody's life easier and you eliminate confusion. Step number 2 is you have to be crystal clear as to what everybody's responsibilities are and how they're going to be held accountable. You want to make sure that the same rules apply to everyone equally. The last thing that you need is one group of people feeling that they're treated less than any other group, because it's not going to help when internally in your company you have an us versus them mentality. I mean, if you want it your company versus the world, yes, but inside it's not going to work. Step 3 is you need to focus on the individuals and not the stereotypes. This may prove difficult because in some instances stereotypes are there for a reason. But the problem with stereotypes is that it blankets everyone. I mean, if we're being honest, who I am and where I grew up, I'm supposed to be like a hockey all-star, and quite frankly, I can't play hockey for shit. So leave the stereotypes at home. Get to know the individual. And that will happen when you incorporate step number 4. Ask questions. You see, the biggest problem that I see when there's cultural differences is that people buy into the stereotypes. They just don't know any better. They assume that the stereotype is the truth. I've worked with many people and I've caught them off guard. They've had to take a step back because I will look at them, I will talk to them, and I will say, literally, word for word, but why are you here? Followed quickly by, what is it that would make you leave your home? Because I genuinely want to understand why somebody comes to Canada or in the US or wherever. Why do they pack up and leave everything that they know to come and start a new life? To me, that breaks down many barriers. By asking such direct but genuine questions, I come out of that with an understanding, and it's usually a great respect for what they've had to do in order to make their way to North America. It's crazy, some of the stuff that these people have gone through, the reasons behind their motives. It's hard to look at somebody in a negative light when you've learned their backstories. And that's when the stereotypes, they just fall apart. because you're talking to somebody as a human. Huh, who would have thought? A lot of the issues I see with cultural differences is ignorance. You just don't know any better. So you assume. And when you assume, you know what that makes? An ass out of you and me. So take a minute and try to see life through somebody else's eyes. And I'm not saying that you need to adapt to the way they live, and I'm not saying that they have to adapt to the way you live. But at the end of the day, everybody bleeds red. No, I'm not saying try to cut them and see and make sure. It's a fact. Everybody bleeds red. Everybody experiences sadness. Everybody experiences joy. You know, if you keep this in mind, just the fact that everybody is the same, they have this, we all go through the same emotions. If you keep that in mind, it will make the world a better place. At the very least, it'll make your small world a much better place. Anyway, that's all I have today. We will see you next week. Remember, if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the like button if you liked what I had to say. If you didn't like what I had to say, hit the dislike button. I'm okay with it. But I'd appreciate a comment as to why you didn't like or why you did like. Anyway, that's enough rambling. I will see you next week.